And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's session of Make HOAG Money, where you come up with the ideas and we take the trades. My name is John Hoagland, the Senior Performance Coach here at Top Step, 39 years of futures industry experience, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think you might know me, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you. This is the CFTC disclaimer. It states that there's a lot of risk in futures. We know this. These are leveraged products. You do stand the possibility of losing more than your initial investment with leveraged products. We should only be using risk capital. This is one of the things we love about Top Step. You're not going to have to put up risk capital. You're going to use ours once you are successful in the trading combine, which is a real-time simulated account. Simulated performance results do have certain limitations in the fact that most simulated accounts don't have accountabilities, rules, and consequences. Got to have that skin in the game to make it real. Rules for Make HOAG Money, kindness and respect are expected above everything. There's always differences of opinions in markets. It's what makes them so good. You can have a couple people enabled to talk if they would like to. Everybody's going to be involved in the decision-making process. And context is going to be helpful. If you do have the opportunity to speak, you will be able to share your charts to share context. We're going to use the chat rooms in YouTube and on the Zoom meeting to discuss trades. Only those on the Zoom meeting will have the opportunity to vote for the trades. We're going to be focusing on the micro E-mini S&P for opportunities. We're not going to trade just a trade. And we're not going to take losing trades, which is, of course, a joke. Losses are part of trading. We have to learn to accept them, take them small, and move on. Feedback, of course, is vital for continuing to improve Make HOAG Money. If you have feedback, send it to jhoagland@topstep.com, JHOAGLAND at topstep.com. All right, here's the platform. Bleh. Looking like we are at risk of not opening above the late spike, certainly probably above the base of the late spike. But here we go. All right, is anybody interested in joining me? Let me see if Randolph is here. I don't see Randolph here. He was on the forecast, but hasn't made it here yet. Is anybody else interested in speaking? You can either raise your hand or just let me know in the chat. I'm watching the chat, of course. So we should kind of go over the context here. This is the daily chart, 39.90, weekly kickoff high. We are currently above it. There it is right there. And we've got a late spike that we are currently above. So the nuances here are kind of to the upside again, much like they were yesterday. The question, I think, for today is going to be, do we accept above weekly kickoff high by the end of the day? That would mean if we open with a gap, we probably don't want it to close the gap. We've got the base of the late spike here at 39.8475, and that's kind of a go, no-go pivotal level for us today. So here is the TPO chart with the overnight on it. Here's the last price. Okay, so what are we going to do Michael, my comment is using web version of Trade Evade, couldn't exit long for almost 2 minutes despite hitting exit button. Anyone ever have that problem? I have not. But sometimes I've heard of this, and it's a display error. Like you'll be out, but it won't be showing you that you're out. Caesar saying, yeah, the web version, apparently he says, has a tendency to freeze up during volatility. Vince, your question about that daily chart 200 session moving average. I tend to, when it's available, use the current month. And it may be valid on both ends. Who knows? May be valid on both ends. Randolph, yeah, right? I don't know. He's probably busy doing something with that. We'll see if he shows up. But if anybody else would like to speak, let me know. Right, Fred. Yep, S&D, yes, it appears to be opening above the late spike, which should be bullish for today. I was just going to ask that, Fred. Do we want to take the opening range trade? Here's the 1 minute chart. We've got about 2 minutes. I say yes. Okay, we got 63% participating. We are at 81% yes. There's the results. So it looks like we're going to be taking the opening range trade. Is there a size of the opening range trade that we would find prohibitive? If it's 10 points, are we still going to take it? Answer in the chat. Yeah, Murph, you're right. I mean, it does change a little bit. I mean, there's a little bit more of a fear factor, I think. Good morning, Borneo. But it doesn't change what we're seeing as far as the nuances from the late spike, the gap open, So Bob says 5 to 7. Shaw says 5 to 7. So, okay, so nothing bigger than 7 points for the opening range trade. Hopefully this will point it out for us. Let me see if it's on it. Opening range trade. Okay, it should be. And this is the micro. Let's do this on the S&Ps. Travis, this is your 1 minute chart. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Spencer, this is your 1 minute chart. Okay, opening range trade should do it. We'll watch the S&P opening range trade. Michael says it is going to go beyond 10 points in the first minute. We will see. We will see. If it does, if it gives us an opportunity back inside the opening range to limit the risk, we can do that. So the news is out. How it's going to be digested throughout the day, we can't know that, Murph. So we're going to trade what we see. We're going to take a look and see what we've got going on here. Coming into the opening range. In about 15 seconds. Shaw says 10 is okay because a 20-point winner is possible. The market is out of balance, right? Here we go. 2.5 points, 3 points. 20 seconds in. 5, 6. Oops. Okay, we're in. Okay, we're short. I don't like it, but we're short. Fred says we should take it only if it was long. Long only. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cannonball it if we get the chance. We got 2 on the stop above the opening range. Very close to a gap close here, but no gap close just yet. Go too long if stopped out, Shaw. We've already got a cannonball in to get long, but only one. If it gets taken out on the high here, 30. We're gonna move this down a little bit. There we go. So we're seeing a little bit of continuation here. We'll see how this plays out. If I'm looking at a target here, gap close we just did. What about the base of the late spike? Or do we let it go? Good morning, Rick. Okay, Daniel. A cannonball, Aaron, is if you're in a position and you don't just go flat, you go the opposite direction. So we're short right now, and we've got to stop to buy 2 above the opening range if the market turns the other direction. So it would take us from short to long. Okay, we are rapidly approaching the base of the late spike, which was largely the low of the overnight until after the number came out. If we had... Hey, what's up? What's up, Randolph?
Stick with it.
Yeah, you like it?
I'm proud of you.
Why?
I like your short.
You do?
Yeah.
Shit. Should probably cover it then.
It's like the kiss of death.
It's good to hear from you, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good,
Metals
good.
are up.
Yeah, nice, right?
Yeah, silver was up like 63 cents.
Travis is... we got some folks here saying, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to... we're going to fish or cut bait. Because the base of the late spike is a support level. Folks are saying cut bait, cut bait, cut bait.
I do, yeah, move your stop down.
I cut bait.
You're leaving a big fish on the line.
Well, it's possible, but you know the open above the late spike is friendly for longs.
Then sell it again. You get a rally, reload it. Around 40,000.
But I'm kind of nervous about longs because the opening range remains the high of the session. But it was a good trade.
Yeah, but you can limit your loss. So yeah, it was a good trade.
Delta 5K. Let's see. Yeah, we got negative delta. We are congruent with direction, though. Did you watch the markets this morning at 7:30, Rick?
What's that?
Did you watch the markets at 7:30 this morning?
Yeah, I did. And then I moved into here, and my freaking laptop that I do this on had to do a restart update.
Of course. Bob, I liked your idea. I mean, I didn't even think about moving the stop down. Something I rarely do is move the stop down. Because I always get taken out of good trades. But we just got taken out of this trade. This is an iffy area here. This was the results of the poll to cut bait. 61%. So we had to cut bait. And now what? I don't think the platform zeroed it out.
All the indices are in the red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see it here. Daniel says he's looking for a long, but not looking for it right now. Fred's asking, what happens if price revisits the opening range? Rick wants to sell. We talked about buying a breakout higher. We did talk about that. So if we do get back into that opening range, we get up near our session high here, we can limit risk. And if it does take out the high of the above the opening range, we can always cannonball into a long. I think this last trade we took was a 10-point profit. And it's showing that we're up more than we should be. I don't think that this zeroed out yesterday because we had a small profit on HOAG Money last night. And I think it just added to it.
Hey, free money.
Right?
Yeah, don't argue with that.
No.
Yeah, there it is.
So when there is a late spike, there's the base of the late spike is where the market drove higher late in the session and didn't have time to accept. There's a secondary level where the late spike begins. Now, if you were here, HOAG Money yesterday, we took a long somewhere up here. We took all this heat, and then we took the profit up here somewhere. 39.90 weekly kickoff high. It ended up being settlement as well. So a pullback to this low, this afternoon, I guess you could say late afternoon pullback, would be an interesting level if we get the opportunity. But the problem with this is there's the overnight low, which was the base of the late spike. There's the start of the late spike down here. There's an anomaly, a true anomaly down here, which can be a visual target. If traders are looking at it, they'll bring price there. Then there's point of control. There's all kinds of levels to look for longs on the way down here. I have a tendency more to be patient, wait for early structure to establish in the day time frame, and then trade against that if we even get that opportunity. If not, we take out the high of the opening range, then we can see if we can catch a breakout move above the opening range. That would, of course, be something we would time stop. Travis, I saw you were, asking if you want to. Do you still want to talk? Yeah, we're not even 15 minutes in yet, right?
Sell against VWAP.
39.94. No problem, Travis. JT Irby up 400. He's good. Dan wasn't expecting this continuation to the downside, to be honest. So he's sitting on his hands and restarting the PC. Daniel is asking you, Randolph.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I was just shorting the S&Ps.
You were.
Yeah. I bought a bunch of SHs.
Got it.
Like watching molasses, but at least I'm short.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the question?
The Daniel's asking what your opinion of the CPI was. Is it bullish or no?
No. It's still high.
It's
And I
still.
don't know. You know, the government always freaking tweaks those. You know. And then they're going to find a couple more patches of classified documents in Biden's trunk.
Yeah, apparently he's going to mumble something about the CPI at some point today.
I'm overall bearish right now. So
We have.
yeah, right next to the shredder. Yeah.
Okay,
There's
Trav.
so much other stuff going on in the world besides that I'm just.
Yeah. It was really the only thing to focus on this week was that CPI.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Hey, Travis. Randolph, this is Travis. Travis, this is Randolph.
Hey, Rick, how's it going?
Yeah, hi, Travis. We talked the day that you bailed on us.
That's
so,
right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, Travis did a great job.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
he pirated Make HOAG Money.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I prefer the term commandeer, but, you know, if you want to use pirates.
Co-pilot.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, I got to agree with everybody on today. I really didn't think it was going to be this bearish action that we're seeing right now off of this. So
I think you got a lot of people that were overlooking it to the upside.
yeah, well, especially after the CPI number when it spiked down. It was a fairly muted move compared to CPI's past.
Yeah.
And then it regained
But last month did the same frickin' thing. It rallied up and then it just was down the rest of the day.
yeah.
That's true. So now we're past where the late spike started. This anomaly, I'm telling you, is they're coming down to just recheck that level.
Where's that anomaly at?
It is 39.66.75.
Okay, so I've had a level for a while around 62. That was, if you remember you talking earlier in the week or last week, that was a range 62 to 42 was a big range that we were.
I remember that.
Back in November.
I remember that.
Yeah. So right now I'm kind of looking for that area to hold, and that's going to be my next look for a long is at 62 in that area. So we're just shy of there now, but it kind of depends on what the crowd wants to do.
Where's the 200 MA now?
Well, it depends. If you're looking at the continuation chart,
Yeah, see where you're bouncing up there? Is that it?
no, hang on, I got to put it on here. Red.
You know, it's been a strong one is the Russell. So that, there you go.
So I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna go for a long here. And we had yesterday's open was 57 something. So I want to be on the other side of that for risk. But I'd like to see if this area holds. If it doesn't, then that's going to be pretty bad for the market. We're at least going to, I think.
Well, is it that red, the red, the 200?
That's the 200 on the March contract.
Right up to it.
Yep. And this is the continuous contract. Different.
Yeah.
Look at this.
And then they got that trend line too.
Yeah, that's from the all-time high up here. Contact.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Travis, you were saying?
Well, I'm long from 63.75. We went down and we tapped that
62
area that I
level.
was looking at, yeah.
At the bottom of the wick.
It pretty much, yeah. Our low is 62.50. So it touched it and regained, so I got in on that. And I guess my risk is outside of yesterday's, on the other side of yesterday's open, which was 57.50. So I'm around 56.
Wasn't that the close?
Well, close was 39.90.
Yeah. But what I was saying, when you were looking at the 200s, the 200 on the continuous contract, it looks like it was right there around that 62 level, also, wasn't it?
Let's look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right down there.
See if it bounces off it or it was a head fake.
Yeah, it's coming in at 67.
Okay, so basically right where we're at right now.
Yep. Yeah, I would. I
It
would.
turns into support.
I would join you, but I'm afraid I'd screw it up for you. If I get in, it's not going to work.
I'm doing it on mine, so whatever you want to do. But what I was saying is if we break below yesterday's open at 57.50, then I think my next target would be the 43 area, and that was the bottom of that range from November, 62 to 43.
Okay, right. And it's also a volume point of control from an overnight session here.
It's just drifting lower.
Well, we had him. It's a good trade, but
Yeah, with that late spike, the base of the late spike also being the overnight low, I
right there.
really expected that to be some pretty strong support, and it just kind of melted right through it.
Yep.
The backside of that 200, is that the 54 here?
What's that?
The backside of the 200's moving average, is that the 54 in red on the left? The 39.
No, that's the overnight low.
I mean, if you're going to try to see if you can catch a bounce rally, you might want to try that.
It'd be an obvious spot, right? It's value low from yesterday.
Yep.
Let's see if we want to try that. So what we're talking about doing is testing a long down near the overnight low. which is value low from yesterday as well.
The indices are still slipping.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they were.
So here's the
Here's
the
overnight
poll.
Low Hope, the base of the late spike. What overnight low are you talking about?
Today's overnight low. 54.
Well, that would have been yesterday's overnight low, wouldn't it?
No.
Because we didn't get below the base of the late spike overnight last night.
Overnight?
Yeah, your risk is pretty limited.
Yeah, we did. Here's the overnight low, 54.
No. Well, okay. If we're talking about, sorry, during the CPI, I'm thinking
Right,
before the
right.
CPI report. Yeah.
Right.
Mistake.
Right, and it's it's kind of interesting that that volatile late spike basically, or that volatile spike lower stopped at value low from yesterday.
Yeah. Right.
So we've got 41% participation. Fred is saying the market seems directional so far, moving lower. So I'm I'm disinclined to fade it. Opening range of the high of the session. What do we say, Fred? We look for shorts. Everyone is.
Good idea on the coffee.
Yeah, right. But a lot of people like this idea. 86% say yes. So we're going to look at 55 to buy one.
For it to break below that, take out some stops, and then
Yeah, no, that's really kind of more what I'm thinking. We're going to watch this and see if we end up taking it. Because I'd like it to take out the low of the overnight, and come back inside it to look for the long. It helps establish the risk as well.
yes,
Hit the stops and then buy it.
Yep. I mean, we could preempt those. We could go yesterday's low for risk and try and buy it here. Or not. Yeah, see, Shaw's like, I want to see structure.
Or coffee.
But, don't forget what the godfather of the profile says. Jim Dalton says, if you wait for confirmation, it will cost you in location.
that's for sure. And to be quite honest, if we're looking for better trade location, it's still a cheap
It is cheap, right?
trade. So
Mm-hmm.
so here we are, come testing yesterday's open price.
Gonna take out those stops. Here we go.
Yesterday's open right here. Right at the low of the opening range from yesterday.
The dollar's almost back up near the highs.
No shit.
The strength in the dollar coming back. That's interesting.
Still below 103. Wow. Oh. See, now I got FOMO.
metals have retraced too with that dollar going up.
Well, good thing you're short the equities, huh?
Did. I got out of some of the metals too. That I like to. I swing trade some and then I scalp some.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So on a move like that, I'd rather get out and.
Yeah, you're working your position.
Well, I'm playing that 200 SMA.
I know, Vince. I'm thinking the same thing here. We were hoping we'd get a look at the overnight low, see if we could run the stops there. But you're getting FOMO too. I think you're feeling the same thing I am. I'm afraid we're going to miss it.
Yeah. Don't chase it.
No, I've done that enough. Caesar, are we picking a bottom on a short-term downtrend? We may be, but we have reference to keep our risk minimal. Michael D is saying, let's see what B period brings. We got about 3 minutes.
Are there any other numbers? Is there a number of 3 minutes?
No. The only thing that we have are talking feds. Well, nat gas comes out at 9:30.
You see that thing I sent you about Russia selling crude at $50 a barrel?
Yeah, that didn't seem to help, did it? Neither did it.
I mean, I didn't see it make any difference.
No. As a matter of fact, I mean, we added 19 million barrels to crude stocks here in the U.S. last week, and it's still higher.
Yeah.
The talking heads are saying that they're expecting higher Chinese demand as they open up their economy more.
Yeah. Well. And then now they're going to ban gas cooking equipment and gas furnaces and.
They're not taking my gas stove.
Well, that thing was banning new stuff, so not necessarily taking away what you already have. But
I know. I'm kidding John because he got a new furnace yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
They're gonna come knocking at the door, just cut it out. Redo it.
Yeah, they can have it if they pay me $15,000 and put in whatever they want.
There you go.
God, it's the government. You're gonna get half of what it's worth.
Yeah, it's like getting divorced.
And you'll like it.
Yeah.
Spalding.
Dang it. Are you still long?
Yeah, I am.
Nice.
It didn't. It got down to the open, but didn't take me out. So
Yeah, it went right to the bottom of the opening range.
Mm-hmm.
Nicely done.
John, you got one there too, right?
No.
Not.
Nope. No, it's leaving me behind. We talked about, the trying to get down here, the overnight low or the yesterday's low, but we never got the chance.
Yeah,
That's why I started getting FOMO.
Yeah.
But usually when I get FOMO, I'm the wrong way.
We did have some, it's getting into another range here that I was looking at. 71 to 78 was another area of support resistance that I had been looking at. It's kind of struggling there now, but that 78 was some support shortly after the CPI number as well. So it could, if it's going to go back down, it could look to do it there at 78.
Okay, now we got B period. Let's see how this treats us. No, Jared, I wouldn't say. Well, the key level we didn't get to that level that we were thinking about looking for along. Now, Travis did. He's in and enjoying life right now. But I was being too cheap trying to get a look at the overnight low or yesterday's low to see how it looked down there because it was cheaper.
Yeah, it was a lot cheaper. I mean, I was definitely taking some heat there for a second, and I almost got stopped out. So it came close.
But nice placement there. That was good.
Again, it's just that range, that we were in a couple months ago. Looking at holding the top of that, and so far we dipped below it, but then regained it.
There's nothing in the late spike rules that say the market has to go that direction right away.
Right.
It can come all the way back into the range, test the value low, and then end up finishing higher for the day. Look at the delta we have here.
What they call that, digestion.
We have negative 16,000 delta. That's pretty strong.
16,000, yeah, that is.
That's strong. And look at how the market is kind of coming back now. If this delta remains this deep into the negative and we can't break this market, it'll be another thing like another day like yesterday. We just keep squeezing the short time frame until they capitulate.
Are we below the 200 now?
What's with you on this 200?
It's usually VWAP with
I
you.
watched, hold that and VWAP.
Yeah, we are on the March contract. We're below,
You're still below it. Yep.
right? And then on the continuous,
Pretty far above it, huh?
That's more of a swing trade thing than anything. I do the 200, the 50, and the 20.
Chad, the new furnace is nice. Seems
I
to.
let them have one round VWAP if you can, John, and
View app.
the 39.90.
39.90 weekly kickoff high.
Yeah, and that 88.50, if you remember, that was an area I was looking at yesterday for some resistance, and that it kind of played around there overnight, in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the point of control from overnight. TPO point of control 88.50. That's it.
That's actually my target on this long.
Mr. Valentine has set the price.
Plus, you got that. Look at your profile right there.
Right here. You mean here?
Yeah,
Yeah. That's the overnight point of control.
yeah. That's about in line with VWAP.
Basically settlement almost in the late spike.
Yeah. It's a profit deal.
A new oven mitt.
Our new phone books are here.
He hates these cans. Negative delta is bullish, Chad, when price doesn't go in the direction of the negative delta, which would mean lower. So yesterday in the profile, let's see here. Okay, this was yesterday. We opened, we broke, we couldn't close the gap. We had a late spike here. We couldn't close the gap. Delta started lower, and as price got moved higher, Delta continued to hold negative. It kind of slowed here, but it kept getting more and more negative as the day went on. So what Delta is the number of contracts that are trading on the bid. So market order sellers are hitting the bid. They're the aggressors. Price should go lower in that regard, right? But when it doesn't, it's it can mean that you got longer time frame buyers in the market active that day, and that they're going to end up getting the short time frame traders too short, and then you end up squeezing them out at the end of the day and creating the late spike, which is what we had yesterday. Right? So now we zeroed out at 8:30. We're at negative almost 17,000, which is higher than it ever got yesterday. And we're having trouble reaching the overnight low or reaching the low from the session yesterday. What doesn't happen is sometimes as important as what does. So we couldn't get there. You know, I'm thinking that is a signal that those buyers are still present. And if they're protecting this level, they're going to keep putting in bids, keep putting in bids, getting delta and more negative, squeezing the short time frame traders that are getting shorter and shorter because they're hitting into big bids. And eventually, like they did yesterday, they capitulated at the end of the day and created the late spike. I was looking for a spike of greater magnitude yesterday, but it took us right to an important inflection level, that weekly kickoff level, 39.90. So now with the open interest increase in the S&Ps yesterday, estimated was 26,000. The final is also, it's almost 27,000 new contracts were created on this push to the upside. Tells me that's longer time frame buyers. Now, the longer time frame buyers are not naked long the S&Ps. They're short somewhere else. They're working products against each other to turn their profits.
A lot of people go use that versus options.
Yes. We had Joe D. We have Anne Marie. They're always looking at those options levels.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to get Anne Marie back on here, and I don't know where Joe D. has been, but I'm going to look forward to seeing him back here one of these days, so we can kind of get more knowledge about what they're looking at as far as, I mean, they're looking at where the highest open interest strike prices are in the options. So that's where the market is going to bring the most pain to the options traders.
They typically write the option, or are they buying them?
Well, options are like futures. There's one long for every short.
I know that, but if you write it, then you got time working in your favor.
Right, but if price gets to your strike price,
yeah,
then you might get exercised, and then you're in a shitty position.
You know, I get it.
So that's where the pain comes in, right?
No pain, no gain. How well we know, right?
Yeah. JT is saying lots of shorts on the long time frames.
Now it'll probably sidebar the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
I sat here all day yesterday, and it was just like.
Well, yesterday actually turned out to be, I thought, a pretty decent day.
Yeah, I should say that. Yeah.
You know, because of the delta divergence, it gave me confidence to stay long.
Yeah.
Oh, low time frames. Got it, JT.
Yeah.
I call those short time frame.
It just took a while to get there.
Mm-hmm. All day. It was like the S&Ps used to be. You know, they'd get everybody short and just grind you to a pulp by the end of the day. It's what it did yesterday.
The envelope just got narrower and narrower and narrower.
Spot Gamma, Jason, that's the one that I think Joe D has been looking at. Spot Gamma is a good resource for how the option market can drive price. I've got that written down here somewhere. Say we are maintaining negative 16,000 in delta, and the market is kind of turning around here, isn't it? So if this delta continues to hold at this level or even decrease in value as price moves higher, I'm gonna see if I can find an area to get long. And it may be a breakout above the IB here, the opening range as well, which would be poor trade location only if we put in the high. Reading Tom Hugard's book, it's everybody says it's buy low, sell high, but sometimes the right thing to do is to buy high and sell higher, or sell low and buy lower.
All right, so here we come to that 8. Okay, so now
Okay, here's
I
VWAP.
just have a runner now on the majority of my
Nice trade. Nice trade.
Wasn't easy. I mean, there's a lot of reason, what you guys were looking at. There was a lot of reason that it could have kept going lower. So I really got lucky on that.
Well,
John, are you taking a short or not?
No, not with this negative delta. That's got me kind of cautious against getting short.
If it stays above the 88.50, maybe it comes up and tests the 97 area, gets into that and comes back down to test 88.50, that would be where I would
Look for a long.
look for a long, right?
All right. Let's see. We're getting short on time here, but do we want to take that trade if we get the opportunity? Sent the poll.
And again, that's coming down to retest 88.50.
It's trying.
Yeah, see, look at how delta is now decreasing in negativity. We got short time frame shorts, short in the hole. Longer time frame buyers are likely in the market. GT, lots of shorts in the short time frame. You were right. And Travis, nice trade, man. That was nice.
Yeah, thanks. Like I said, I got lucky that it didn't go down and test that overnight low.
Well, and
Stop it right above that.
I mean, that's important information. What doesn't happen is as important as what does.
Sure.
So we got two entries here. We got a breakout above the opening range, which will time stop. And then we've got your 88.50 level, which you got a mandate on that.
There's a trend line up there, right?
Yeah. And if we break out and accept above that, that could be a big move.
Could be.
Here's your 84% agree with Travis on the long at 88.50.
And then I would put the stop below the base of the late spike in case we test that again. So I do maybe like a 4 or 5 point risk on that.
4.5.
There you go.
We split the difference.
Good negotiation.
Mr. Valentine has set the price. See, now we're starting to accumulate negative delta again. Chart language, you're up 42.15 with $100 in commissions. Is that what you're saying there? That's a heck of a nice day. Are humans bound by... Oh, that disappeared. JT's telling you, Travis, that was a Ballsy long down there.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
That's
said,
what it takes.
It does. You gotta stick to it, and as long as you manage your risk, then you know that you're as long as you're comfortable with the risk, you take it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. That one
The
did.
trend is your friend.
Zach is saying
What do
extend.
you got in there, John? You either gonna go short or long?
No, we were only looking long.
And what's that X?
This X,
No, up.
that's a long. That's a buy stop.
That's a buy?
Yeah.
Oh, it's green. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that the opening range buy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Zach is saying
4,000,
extend make HOAG money, which we're thinking about doing. We're thinking about going right from the forecast into make HOAG money and extending it to until I don't know when.
Well, you got nothing else to do, right, John?
Right. Yeah. I'm just hanging around, feeding the fish, walking the dog. Yeah, somebody was mentioning maybe they heard Lacey earlier. She was sleeping and kind of snoring a little bit. She does find trading a little bit boring. Maybe if we could trade like rabbits or something, she'd be more interested.
Right. Yeah, my dogs get a little impatient too. Wonder why I'm sitting here staring at this computer screen all day.
They're so cute when they're sleeping. Kind of like kids. Vince, you were reading my mind. I mean, we're
I
back.
just added my shorts.
I think I'm bullish here.
I am too, but I'm going to take Vince's suggestion and take a short. So we're short.
That's right, though. It does need to regain that 4,000.
Yeah.
That's a psychological barrier.
We're short 39.99.75 right now.
So then you got an order to stop out 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Very sad day yesterday. One of my favorite artists, Jeff Beck, passed away.
Did he really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah. I guess he got bacterial meningitis, and that was it.
I'm shaking.
It happened on Tuesday. His family didn't announce it till yesterday. What an artist. I blasted Jeff Beck music all night last night.
I got to see him at Ravinia about 2-3 years ago before COVID.
I bet it was a great show.
He was on my bucket list, John.
Yeah. He's one I never got to see, or I didn't get to see, or didn't take the time to go see, and now I'm sorry. I've seen Jimmy Page, I've seen Eric Clapton, the Yardbirds trio. I missed Jeff Beck, and I can't believe it.
Trifecta.
Yep. So
We bought tickets to go see him, and we drove down there, and
Well,
they shoved me in on a bus. And it was gorgeous out. And then we were sitting across from this old couple having a sandwich before the concert, and they're like, "So who's Jeff Beck?" And I'm like, "Huh?" He goes, "Yeah, somebody had tickets and couldn't go, so they just gave them to him."
holy cow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I cracked up. I go, You know,
Now, you don't want to see him. I'll take those off your hands.
Yeah, right.
well, we were there, and I said, you know Eric Clapton? He goes, yeah. I go, Jimmy Page, yeah. I said, well, he was one of the three.
They were from the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
Kind of a funny story. A woman that my wife works with at she works at a high school. Her name is Sue, and she was out goofing around something, and there was she was at a bar, I think, playing pool or something, and there was like this hullabaloo about this guy, and she didn't know him. So she walks up and says, who are you? Everybody seems to think you're something special. And he says, well, my name's Jeff Beck. And she says, I don't even know who you are. He says, well, I'm a guitarist. So he glommed onto her. They played pool together. They had dinner that night. He had her backstage at the show the next day, backstage at the next show the next day. He flew her to the next town that they were in, and they just like hung out for 3 or 4 days. She had no idea who he was.
Who's that?
A woman that Donna works with. Her name is Sue. But how many people would have been like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me? And she was like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
Whatever. All right. Well, I got to get going here. Think about this. Maybe we'll talk about this on Monday or Tuesday. If we were to extend Make Hoag Money, like forecast into Make Hoag Money, and then perhaps bring in educators throughout the day, that kind of thing, is that something that you guys would like? Think about it. You don't have to answer now. You can always email me your vote or suggestions for that to jhoagland@topstep.com. And we'll see what we're going to do. We want to improve and expand everything, and it sounds like fun to me, so we'll give it a shot.
You should do like the first hour like you do, John, and then the last hour.
The last hour is it doesn't seem as interesting or as fun as the opening, and for the first hour or 2 or 3.
That's true.
So, all right. Well, think about it. Let me know. Thanks again for joining me here. Trade well, everyone. I'll let you know tomorrow morning how this trade played out. And we had a good couple of sessions. Another good week in Make Hoag Money, making money. Thank you all very much. I do have a new furnace to pay for.
That's right.
Thanks, Travis. Thanks, Randolph.
Trade well, everybody.
Have a great day, everyone.